get started sitting down on my mat, and you can join me wherever you are. You might be on a mat, you might be just on your carpet, you might be on a blanket, you might be on a towel. Doesn't matter what we're on, doesn't matter what we're wearing. Thank you so much for joining me. What time it is for you in the world. Some of you might be lunchtime for you, so if it is happy lunchtime, hope after this you can go and enjoy a nice, nutritious lunch. Today we are going to be working with some movement with our breath. So I've been thinking a little bit lately about how our breath affects what we do. So as someone who suffers with anxiety, breath is really important to me to calm myself down in certain situations. It's not going to fix my anxiety, but it certainly helps when things maybe get a bit overwhelming or things get a bit sensationalized, and I can use my breath to help calm myself down. So today that's what we're going to be working with the breath. We're going to move through some movements where we focus on opening up when we inhale, and when we close down we exhale and withdraw our breath. So I hope you'll enjoy it. It might, again, work up a little bit of a sweat. I'm not sure if it did for most of you last week, but we will be moving the body and moving with the breath. So we'll get started sitting down. So just getting yourself nice and comfortable. Really just settling into your sit bones. Maybe closing down the eyes for now. And just start breathing in through your nose and out your mouth. Not judging your breath, just acknowledging where it's at right now. Trying to get the breath deep into the belly. And then starting to move the breath up into the ribs. And then feeling it start to fill up into the chest. And then if you'd like to open your eyes, or you can keep your eyes closed for this part just to see what I'm doing, but you can follow the sound of my voice. So we're going to inhale our arms up. We're going to exhale them down back the way we brought them. Inhale our arms up. Exhaling, pressing the air down. Do this 3 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling out. Inhale. One last time, breathing in to lift. And then exhale out. Letting it all go. Coming back to seated. And just bringing your hands into your heart center. Pressing your thumbs into your sternum. And just closing the eyes, taking a moment here to acknowledge that you've taken the time to do this practice. Acknowledging yourself and acknowledging your body for what it's about to do. Bringing the hands down, coming over onto your knees. So we're sitting back on our heels. And we'll start by lifting up onto our knees, and then just bringing our hands down as we breathe out, coming back onto the heels. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down, and this time as we inhale up, we'll stay here, taking our left foot out. So our arms are still up in the air, We're going to take our left foot out to the side and we're going to really press down into the very edge of our foot. And so we're really feeling a nice lengthening through our left leg. Then we're going to take our right hand down. And if we can, looking up at our left fingertips. If this is uncomfortable on your neck, just either looking straight ahead, or if you need to keep your balance, just looking down at those right fingertips. We're going to inhale using our core strength, lifting up, pushing up, exhaling, leaning over to the side for our gate pose. Inhaling, fingertips come down. Exhale, pushing up, leaning to the side. Inhaling down. Exhaling, pushing over to gate pose one more time. Inhale, coming back to center, our arms are out. Bringing that left knee back in. Now taking the right leg out. Again, keeping it nice and straight, really pressing in through the outer edge of that foot. So rather than leaning in like this, we're really pushing out through that foot. And as we inhale, we're going to lower our left hand to the ground, up on our fingertips, maybe looking up at the right hand. Breathing here just for a moment. As we inhale, switching on our core, lift ourselves up and exhale over to gate pose. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Inhaling down one more time. Exhaling up. And then inhaling back to center, bringing that right knee back in and coming down onto all fours. So when we move with the breath, it's easy to understand how to move our body better. So we'll move through some cat and cows, and this will help almost make a habit in our mind, or make a scene that we'll understand. So making sure our fingers are nice and wide on the mat as we get our foundations right. Our knees are under our hips. And we're really strong through the fingers. We'll inhale, lower our belly. And as we exhale, we'll arch our back. Inhale to lower. Exhale to arch the back. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more of these. Coming back to center, taking your hands out a little bit further and maybe just walking your knees that tiny bit. I'm going to go through some rolling cat and cows. And you might have seen me do these before, but they're also a really beautiful way to understand how to work with our breath. So we're not in our traditional tabletop here, but again, we want our fingers spread nice and wide. We can have a slight bend in the elbows and making our armpits sort of turn towards one another. So as we inhale, we're going to come forward, bring our chest through. Our knees are on the ground, but our thighs are off. As we exhale, we're going to push all the way back to our child's pose. Inhale, coming forward. Chest goes through the arms. Exhale, push back. Your child's pose. One last one. Inhale, moving forward. Exhale, pushing back to your child's pose. And this time taking your knees nice and wide on the mat. And then bringing your body in between your legs. Your big toes will touch. And if you can, lower your forehead to the ground. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Inhaling to look up, we're going to thread our needle in our child's pose. So taking the right hand underneath the left arm, we're going to place our right ear on the ground. Our left arm will stay out straight in front of us. Twisting through the spine. Inhaling to come back to center. Exhaling here. Then inhaling, taking the left hand underneath the right. Your left ear will come to the ground. Inhaling to come back to center, exhaling here. Inhaling, looking up towards your hands. We're going to lift up our hips, tuck our toes, and then we're going to push back into our down dog. And you might walk out your dog here. Start by lowering the right heel to the ground and bending the left knee. And then swapping over, really bending into the right knee, feeling the left leg extend. Do this a couple more times, just warming up the legs, warming up the hips. Then coming to some stillness, you might have your knees bent if you have tight hamstrings. And then we're just going to roll forward into our plank. And for me here, this is a good plank. If you had to move your hands or your feet at all, it means that our downward dog was maybe a little bit out of alignment, which is okay because we learn these things as we go. So coming into your plank, coming into a really comfortable position, as comfortable as can be in this pose, and then pike at the hips and push back to your down dog. And this here is how your down dog alignment should be. So again, to warm up the spine and to move with our breath, we'll take an inhale and exhale side out. As we inhale, we're going to roll forward through our plank. Exhale, almost lower the knees to the ground before rolling back up into our down dog. Inhale, rolling forward to plank. Exhale, almost bending the knees to the ground. Push back to down dog. One last time. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, bending the knees. Push back to down dog. And then come forward into plank. Lower the knees. Untuck the toes. Just roll your body down onto your mat. Just for a moment. Then we're going to take our arms out wide on our mat, so they're almost like we're up on our fingertips. They look a bit like spiders. Our big toes are really pressing into the ground. So let's do some little taps. Really feel how it feels to press your big toes into the ground. We're looking forward towards the top of our mat, or just ahead of our mat. We're going to inhale, we're going to roll up, pressing into the fingers. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, rolling up. Careful not to do this with your neck, just keeping it nice and neutral. Exhale, roll down. Inhaling, rolling up. Exhaling to roll down. 2 more of these. Bring your hands back near your ribs. We're going to tuck our toes, push back through our child's pose, and come back into our downward dog.
Getting settled in your down dog once again, just for a breath. And then walking your hands back towards your feet. Your feet are hip width apart. You can have a bend in the knees. And we're just going to roll forward and hold our elbows. Maybe taking a sway from side to side. Feeling our shoulders, our hamstrings and our neck really loosen and let go. Taking some deep breaths, letting anything go. And coming back to stillness, lowering our hands to the ground. We can have a deep bend in our knees. Then walking back towards our downward dog. You might feel you can extend through the heels a bit more this time. As we inhale, we're going to bring our right knee to our nose. We're going to exhale it up behind us into three-legged dog. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring it forward in between our hands. If it doesn't reach in one go, just use your back hand, bring it forward. It'll get there eventually, there's no rush. Lower your left knee to the ground, untuck the toes. Inhale our arms up into our Anjalayasana, our low lunge. And in poses like this, we can really inhale to create some space in the pose. And as we exhale, we might feel like we can go a little bit deeper. Inhaling once more. As we exhale, bringing our hands down and straightening that front leg. Inhaling up, low lunge. Exhaling into our half splits. Inhaling up. Exhale. Feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. 2 more times. Once more up. And down. And last one. Exhaling, coming down. We're just going to hold this pose just for a moment. This can feel quite strong in our hamstrings if you have tight hamstrings, so don't feel you need to walk your hands forward. Our hands can be all the way up here, we can be up on our fingertips. If you are feeling strong and flexible in your hamstrings today, bring your left hip forward and your right hip back. Now that might sound confusing, but you should feel a lovely deeper stretch into the side of the hip. Inhaling, coming forward into our low lunge, keeping our hands on the ground, framing the foot. Tuck the toes on the back foot. And then sweep as silently as you can back into our downward dog. Taking a breath in. Exhale, sighing it out. Inhaling our left knee to our nose. Exhaling, stretching it out behind us, three-legged dog. Inhale, bringing that foot all the way in between the hands. We can wait for everyone to get there, there's no rush. And then lowering the right knee to the ground, untuck the toes. Inhale up into our low lunge. Inhaling, create some space in those hips. And exhale, sink that a little bit deeper. As we inhale here, we're going to exhale, lower our hands down, straighten that left leg.
Inhale up. Exhale, straightening that leg. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, making this as fluid as possible, so really working with the breath. And one last time to inhale up. Exhale down and holding in our half Hanumanasana, our half splits. And just finding a spot that's comfortable. Can walk your hands forward that little bit more to really feel the stretch deepen. And if you want to feel a little bit more, bring the right hip forward and the left hip back. You'll feel that right there. Shouldn't feel painful. And your next inhale, coming forward, low lunge, framing the front foot, tucking the toes, lifting up that back knee, pushing back to our downward dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Exhale, slide out through the mouth. Inhale. Let it go. One last one. And then side out, the biggest one yet. Inhale, roll forward to your plank. Lower the knees, sit back on the heels, and roll over to one side. We're going to finish off with some forward folds. So I'll come this way so everyone can see me. And just sitting in butterfly just for a moment actually, and just to loosen up the hips. Just maybe flapping your little butterfly wings. If you're taking a break from your office job maybe today, you've been sitting most of the morning, your hips are probably feeling it a bit, so this is a lovely pose to loosen anything up, get some blood flowing. And then coming back to stillness, take your feet out to diamond. So if you look towards your legs, they should almost be making a diamond shape. So you should have about 2 or 3 handprints in between your feet. Here, we're going to lean forward and we're going to take our hands underneath our legs. Our palms will face up and we'll just gently start to lower We'll be starting to wind things down. So if it's comfortable here for you and you really want to internalize, you can close your eyes. Really feeling the breath go into the lower back. Feeling the spine soften. We'll have 3 more deep breaths here in your own time. And then slowly just starting to walk your way back up. We'll take our feet out long this time. And then just getting comfortable on your sit bones. A lot of the time we are told to take out the fleshy bits from underneath our bottom, but I've been told that is not necessarily the best way to do it. And someone who's hurt their hamstring a little while ago, I find that sometimes makes the pull a lot extra. So just finding somewhere that's comfortable. If you do feel like you are leaning back a bit, for next time you can grab a blanket or you can even just fold up your mat. So if you want to do this, and you can just sit on the edge of your mat and it will feel like your hips come forward a little bit, so we can lean forward a little bit extra and get some nice space in our spine. We're going to inhale our arms up. And we're going to exhale, lead with the chest, coming down into our forward fold. Being careful not to feel like we need to reach towards our feet here and really hunch over like this. The idea with this pose is that we just are letting our body relax and fold into ourselves. So taking the arms, if your arms are all the way out here, just taking the arms back a little bit. You can have the palms up for some more openness, or to feel more grounded, keeping them flat on the mat. If the feet are flexed, you're starting to let them go. Three more deep breaths. And just slowly looking towards your feet. Walking our hands up nice and slow. Maybe unfolding your mat if you folded it over. And just coming down to lie on your back. Nice and slow. Taking the right knee into the chest. I'm going to exhale, taking that right knee over the body. The left arm will come out. Just feeling a gentle twist into that right hip. A lovely way to finish the class. Next inhale, bringing that knee up, squeezing it in. Exhaling, letting it go. And just readjusting your hips, bringing the left knee in. Exhale, taking it over to the right. The left arm will come out beside you. Look towards those left fingertips. And then inhaling, coming up, squeezing that left knee in. And then taking it nice and long on the mat, settling in just for some slight relaxation. Your feet will come to the edge of the mat, your arms are down beside you, palms are facing up. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Taking a gentle inhale through the nose and a soft exhale out the mouth. Bend your left knee. Take your right arm over your head and just roll towards the right. Your head will rest on your right arm. Inhaling and slowly coming all the way up. Coming into a seated position like we started. Just settling ourselves in, keeping the eyes closed. Inhale, lift your arms to the sky, the palms will touch above your head. Exhale, bring them down through your heart center. And your thumbs will meet at your heart. Taking the time to honor yourself, honor your body. And finishing with a theme of mindfulness today, a lovely quote I've seen for quite a while now. It's one of my favorites by Lao Tzu. It says, when you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you.